Hello, everyone. This is Trip, and I am excited that John Dominic Crossan is joining me for a visual lecture series, along with a host of live Q and A's exploring the historical Jesus. So, Dom, if people have always wondered about just what a historian does when they wrestle and reflect with the text and traditions that we received and are trying to understand Jesus in its context, give us a little taste or an invitation to what we'll be up to.
Well, the strategy is, as the name suggests, to begin with history. Don't begin with theology. For example, don't begin by, okay, I'm going to open up Mark's gospel, for example. No, leave Mark's gospel aside for the moment and let's focus on Antipas in Galilee in the 20s of the first century and get a good, thick description of that. That's the matrix into which Jesus, the historical Jesus, the Jesus of the 20s, must fit. If he doesn't fit there, then he's lost within the Gospels written much later. So the question is, does he fit into his historical time and place?
And for someone that has spent their career wrestling with the history and then constantly keeping up to date with both the best documents and the oldest versions of different texts we have, both canonical and non, but also continuing to engage in different archaeological sites as we get to know that historical matrix. What are the kind of like tent posts or the places you start to piece together a historical reconstruction where it's based on something more than, I don't know, what we'd hope he ends up being like?
Well, you do have the texts. It's not like you suddenly, as I said, start with Mark as if nobody has ever done anything like it. For example, when Mark tells you there's a demon out there so strong that nobody can hold him, and he lives in the graveyard, and his name is Legion. Oh yeah, that's about as subtle as a kick in the pants. Legion is the demon, and where do you send him? Into the pigs. And what do the pigs do? They won't even want him. They kill themselves. Oh, now, is that religion or politics? Begin with history and you get the theology right. Get history wrong, and I doubt you'll get the theology right. So I begin with history, with the texts, with the places, with the museums, which means you kind of have to go there if you can. And if you don't, there's a thing called the internet.
Yes, yes. And one of the things that I'm excited about this class in particular is we're recording the visual lectures in advance so people can use them personally, watch them multiple times, and come up with questions, or use in groups, be a reading group or a discussion group or their church group. And then throughout Lent, we're going to have these live stream conversations where we'll do both Q&A around different themes that people having watched the lectures do, but also each week a different third person will be joining us. Maybe Diana Butler Bash joins one week, or Brian Zahn comes from a different part of the church and how your work has influenced him and how the historical Jesus has challenged his faith. And then Brian McLaren might join another week and we'll have different conversations. So one of the goals I think that this opportunity online is going to afford us is, one, people will be able to sit with your lectures and wrestle with them, ask questions, and then send those in, and we will get to wrestle with them live, and they will have had time to prepare. And people will get to hear not just from us having fun doing historical Jesus things, but from different figures in different parts of the church as to how Christians in different spaces have wrestled with what we've learned about the historical Jesus and how that's challenged and reshaped what their faith looks like.
In other words, this is a model example of how to use modern technology. You don't have to everyone travel. You can actually talk together and talk forcibly together from different parts of the world. It's quite marvelous, I think.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited about it. I'm very, very, very pumped to do this. And for all of you checking this out, feel the lure. Come join up. It's donation based, including zero all the way up to $1 million, but not a penny more. And you can utilize the videos and the conversations and whatever setting you're in, from personal to communal, in the ways that set it up and contextualize it there. But we're very excited to have you joining us for a conversation and engagement with the historical Jesus.